What's good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And this one, I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what you should be watching for as time progresses. I'm also going to break down how SPY is looking for open, what's happening with Tesla, and the news affecting the markets, as we just had CPI that just came out. Before I break anything down, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 6 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks plus 6 months of level 2 data. Putting in $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 70 free stocks plus 12 months of level 2 data. This offer ends in just 6 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. So looking at Tesla's thing is currently trying to push from right here. We're at 239 right now, trying to hold our 238 support, and the CPI numbers just came in aligned with expectations. Now, I was hoping we would see CPI a little bit below that, but overall, it still is aligned with expectations. Not a bad report, and this incentivizes the Fed to once again skip on the next rate hike, which I'm very confident they're going to do tomorrow. So, core CPI month over month was at 0.3%, aligned with the consensus. Core CPI year over year was at 4%, aligned with the forecast and everything. Inflation month over month was 0.1%, aligning with the forecast. And then CPI year over year was 3.1%, aligning with expectations. So everything was aligned with expectations, not bad whatsoever. But the question is, how will this affect the market and what's going on thus far? A couple more things to know about is that we have momentum from December. I have a theory about the markets, guys. I think that regardless of what happens today, whether the market just trades flat, even if it comes down, I think later on there's still more upside coming for December. I think SPY will still reach 467. I don't think it's done just yet with the pumping, and I think that FOMC is going to be pivotal for that. I just want to mention that Oracle had its earnings. It dropped 9% after 3 out of its 4 key revenue segments ended up basically missing, and that's not good news for them. There's also some news that Ford is cutting its planned 2024 production for the F-150 Lightning pickup. This is big news for them. And besides that, it's just all about CPI. So there's some headlines talking about the Chinese numbers looking pretty good for Tesla, but there is a question being asked, and that is, can Tesla stock hit $500 in 2024? In my opinion, I think that towards the end it is a possibility, but we have to just focus on at least the short term for now. We have to see how Tesla holds its support and how the market continues to move, at least moving forward. So, anyways, let's talk about how Tesla and the market are looking. Let's start off with SPY. It's actually a little green right now, but Tesla's kind of red. Once again, with all the negative news from yesterday, CPI did not help Tesla pump that much. It was as expected, so the market's pretty flat thus far. So if you look at Tesla, we're barely holding 238. We're just going to look at this on a level basis. If Tesla tries to push up, watch for 240 as our resistance. For support, make sure you watch this wick right here at this 237.5 area. If that breaks, we could see Tesla retrace towards 236. We'll be watching this very carefully. Tesla might just trade sideways in this 238 area, but we might see it come back down towards 236.5. We failed to see a big squeeze because CPI was not lower than expected. It was just as expected. So things like that happen. I was really hoping that we would get a better report based off the data I was looking at. But technically, guys, it's not like that big of a difference. I mean, CPI was 3.1%. I was hoping for like 3%. It's like 0.1% of a difference. That's the only thing that was like a little off. But still, it's a pretty decent report. It still is less than what we saw previously. And the data did suggest that that would happen. And that is what we got. So Tesla is once again just kind of trades sideways at this 238 range. If we lose this, watch this 236 area. Once that potentially breaks, then we might just see a lot of sideways price action, at least for the time being. Tesla's also just trying to hold up for now. It might just continue to range trade for some time, and we'll see which way it moves after that. But look for a little retracement. If you end up losing the support, we might see it retrace a little bit, followed by a little bounce later on with lots of sideways price action. As far as SPY goes, it's completely flat, which is pretty funny. Completely flat right now, just a little green. And for bullish, you want to see SPY try to get back above 462.5 and hold that. Or if we lose 462, you're going to be looking for a retracement towards 461.5. If that fails, then we could turn more bearish. But I think that we're just going to be very flat at 462 for now. We'll see what happens with the morning. The mornings tend to be very tricky, especially on SPY. So I think that the same thing might pop and then drop back down towards 461.5 to 461.22. We'll have to see if this holds. If this support holds, we could see this thing try to, continue to hold up. But if we lose 461.5 and 461.22, that range, then I could turn a little bearish. We might see it retrace just a little bit. Not the end of the world though, because ultimately I still think SPY is going to pump after FOMC and later on back up to 467. If we get a small retracement, it's going to be fine. It's going to run more later on still, in my opinion. So I still think there's going to be a squeeze coming. Could we retrace a bit from here? It is a possibility, but I think it's going to run more later on towards the end of the year. I don't think that SPY is done. It still is very flat. The QQQ is up 0.1%, holding up a little bit better than what many people were expecting. Going to be watching this support right here. So we have resistance at 396. Then we have the support at the yellow trend line around this 394.8 area. We're going to be watching this to see if this actually holds the support. There could be a little retracement coming. If it does reject just a little bit, then try to bounce after that. But overall, it might try to hold up. The 4-hour does show a potential, a little drop that could be coming before it tries to bounce. But I don't think the market's going to crash. I just think that we're going to trade kind of sideways for the most part on the QQQ. We'll be watching to see how it continues. Nvidia is looking kind of weak, unfortunately. Nvidia failed to hold support after the CPI reports, and now it's just barely at this blue trend line right now. So watch this trend line very close to this 461 area. If we lose this, watch it come down to 457 and 455, and watch resistance at 464 and then 468. We'll be watching the blue trend line very, very carefully. If this breaks, there's going to be a bigger break to the downside. But for now, I think that Nvidia is just going to trade sideways up here between 462 and 464.5. And it might eventually break down later on, especially tomorrow, and retrace towards 455. It's looking a little weak now. It's just barely holding the trend line. If that fails us, then there's going to be more downside. Finally, for Apple stock, it looks to me like Apple is just going to be range bound, going back and forth between supply and demand. As the market is kind of flat, I think Apple might trade in its range, going back and forth and back and forth. It is still stuck between supply and demand. We have support at 192 point flat, and then we have resistance at 193.37. I think Apple will just go back and forth and back and forth. Watch resistance at 193.5. Watch support with this 192 range. Could hit 193, come back down, just continue to trade sideways. So we'll be watching that very carefully for Apple. But with that being said, I'm not really seeing a whole lot for Apple. The market is still kind of flat right now. It's starting to retrace just a little bit. If we do get a retracement, don't worry too much. I still think there's more upside coming for the end of the year, and I still think SPY will reach 467. But for now, market's looking kind of weak, so watch your different supports, and we will see how it goes from there. I'm sorry, guys. When I was looking at the data, it really looked like we would get a CPI that was, below what the expectation was at 3%. Instead, it was at 3.1%, aligning with expectations. Once again, it is what it is. All we could really do is just look at the charts and just try to be unbiased. So from this point on, the market is very close to where we were yesterday, so we should be fine. And then we'll just see how it goes. We'll just be very patient. We'll watch our levels and then continue from there. Thank you for listening. Have a great day and peace out.